And we are live. It's great to be live once again with you. And I know I shared yesterday on our Telegram group that, by the way, you can join the channel and the group underneath in the description for all those who want to be in contact with us and exchange views on what is a dynamic Gnostic investigation about what true Gnosticism really looks like. It won't be possible to read that in a book because probably you'll have to read a lot of books and alchemize them, meaning getting the essence out of a lot of books to distill the essence from it, and you'll come to true Gnosticism. And this is what we undertake. We're not here at the Gnostic Takeover to say, guys, this is what true Gnosticism looks like, and that is set in stone. And everyone just please follow us. We're your leaders. And please believe us. And if you don't believe us, you are going to get kicked out from our platform because you think the rules don't apply to you. And we are your masters. You have to believe everything we say to you. No, that's religion, which lies at the heart of every problem that we have in the world. Every problem that we have in the world is an implication, a product of religion, or as the great Yuri Bezmenov, that I highly recommend, you find the link underneath in the description below, former KGB agent, would say is ideological subversion. We just watched that interview from the 1980s, I think, with G. Edward Griffin yesterday. Amazing interview. Very profound and insightful. So coming back to the point, because you see, once a community of wonderful individuals and wonderful people forms, like on the Gnostic Takeover, and it takes a lot of time to form a community. I've had this YouTube channel here for nearly 2 years now. In March, it's going to be 2 years, ever since the pandemic started. And I started from nowhere, from absolutely nowhere. I didn't know where I was going. I was just on my own at the home of my parents. And I had no idea what I should do. I was like starting from scratch again because I was doing presentations about the imminent rollout of 5G, digital totalitarianism with AI technology, and the governing spirit of evil that is Wetiko, the Native Americans call the Wetiko spirit, the Wetiko mind virus, as it is also called, that then manifests into our reality as digital dystopia, digital totalitarianism, track and trace systems, and China's social crediting system. This is what I was doing presentations throughout Austria, and just before I was about to speak in front of 1,000 people. That was an event sponsored by a council outside of Vienna, Purkersdorf. Sorry. Interference. Normally I have my mobile phone switched off the whole time. I only phone people when I want to phone them because of the level of the hacks and the attacks on us, which I'm going to be speaking about. So coming back to the main point, not to get distracted, I was about to speak in front of more than 1,000 people, me as, oh, no expert, no, talking about 5G, knowing what 5G truly is, a mind control grid. While everyone was talking about the health effects of electromagnetic radiation and all the same language, I was standing in front there talking about social crediting system and mind control. That's what 5G is. So then, that all comes to an end. So it looks like I did my job well, touring around the whole of Austria for nearly a year, and the next thing you know, you've got a lockdown, first time in our history. Or have they done this before? Quite possibly. In history, that's their modus operandi, all right? When they introduce the muzzles. Anyways, I was left with nothing then. No income, no job, no savings of money, only a choice, as the great Bill Hicks says, only a choice right now between fear and love. So I was in fear when the whole lockdown, the whole scam kicked off. I've talked about this before, but it's always important to re-emphasize this Thunderbird perspective, the Thunderbird medicine that I like to talk about and Errol likes to talk about. That's what we introduce, where you come out of the whole matrix bubble and you observe what's really going on. What happened with the whole COVID scam kicking off is the modus operandi of mind control, MK Ultra going global. And it's through shock therapy. So from one day to the next, everything closes. And myself, I can say that I was literally in a state of shock. I was in fear. I was like, ooh, what's going to happen next? We delved into the unknown for some time. And then information started to come out. I remember, obviously David Icke, who I also want to credit here, okay, did a great job right from the beginning of explaining what the nuts and bolts of this pandemic truly was, exposing PCR and the agenda, the Hunger Games society that they want to create through that. Did a very good job with his interviews on London Real. There's, in my opinion, and in Errol's opinion, a much bigger play going on with David Icke, which we will talk about because we talk about anything we want. I do what I want. It's my definition of freedom. I do what I want. I talk about whatever I want. Who are you to doubt it? It's called freedom, freedom of expression, truly. Coming back, David did a great job there. Okay. Problem is he stays stuck in the loop and only talks about it, about COVID. And suddenly, no talking about the Peter satanic criminal network that he's been exposing before in his work. So, therefore, missing the point on how we get out of this. And when you go on davidicke.com, regularly featured is people like Dr. Rainer Fulmick and the so-called investigation into the COVIDs with a bunch of lawyers and doctors and all that. Well, where's that going? Do they know anything about Satanism? Do they know anything about the Archon virus, the Matrix? How to transcend the Matrix and how the reason why we have come into this situation that we're in right now is because there is a learning lesson for every individual on the planet. And if we do not learn this learning lesson and just wait on our couch for the investigations for someone else to change the world, and we'll get it delivered via the post that the world has now changed, we are very, very, very mistaken and in for a nightmare. Controlled opposition is rampant, and I do not like controlled opposition. That's why I specialize in saying what is sometimes uncomfortable to hear, that there is more QAnonism going on throughout the alternative media. That's what I like to talk about. Something I like to specialize in also. So where was I? The point I was making, I started from nowhere. I just started doing these videos. You can go back right to the beginning and the videos that I did there. And then I went on the stage. That's why I love talking about this. It's important to share the journey, what we've been through, and finally we've got this home here. I mean, it's amazing. It's beautiful. This room, for example, I mean, it's because we don't yet have another couch here. It's Errol's sleeping here. I'm sleeping here. I've got a bedroom in here. I could very well sleep in the bedroom. However, the thing is that me and Errol get on so well that we like to be with each other. Like we sat here yesterday listening to the Yuri Bezmenov interview. Yeah, and I can't sleep in the bedroom because we just like to hang out with each other a lot. In actual fact, this is the first time I actually had some privacy for 2 months, because Errol and Liz are in St. Corona right now, at the den of the High Priest of Satanism. Just so happens I like to call him the clown. He's a fucking clown, an idiot, and as evil as you can imagine. I mean, it's unbelievable what happened yesterday. I'll give you a little bit of an update on that. However, I am on a sort of a rant. Lots to talk about. And I have to get also obviously to the topic that I put here. But it's good to give you a little bit of an update. So they're in a place called St. Corona, which is a beautiful area. Amazing. I mean, Austria is a beauty. It really is. You should come and visit the place, which, as we like to say, is going to be the first country that completely rids itself from Satanism. That is at the heart of the New World Order. Okay? It's called Satanism. Everything that comes with it, including the pedophilia and all of the criminal actions that they take, that lies at the heart of this criminal empire of archons. It's Satanism. And when you do not take down the satanic network of your country, forget about taking your country back. Forget it. This is how the structure is. It's set in place. However, the politicians of your country and the politicians of my country dare not talk about it. The first rule of Fight Club is you do not talk about Fight Club. Second rule of Fight Club is you do not talk about Fight Club. Third rule of Fight Club is you do not talk about Fight Club. Meaning you do not talk about the network. That's why everyone you encounter in the network is like, huh? What network? You guys are crazy? What? You stupid? I don't run some stupid fucking network. As a guy called Philip told to us, me and Errol, we love to have a real laugh about that. You guys think I run some stupid fucking network? No, Philip, you can't run nothing. You can't even run a retreat center. Can't run anything. You are in the net of the network as a low-level initiate who doesn't even know what the network what the network truly is. And that's what we're taking on here. All the politicians are deeply afraid of the people that we have encountered and are dealing with, because they do not have access and have fully integrated within their being what the nature of evil is. When you know the nature of evil, you are not in fear of evil. It's as simple as fear is due to a lack of knowledge of a specific subject, especially the origin of evil. That is what creates fear and is at the heart of fear. When one does not know what evil is. That's why we love talking about it, exposing evil, shining light on it, because according to the Gnostic saying, as long as the roots of wickedness, the roots of evil, in other words, as long as the roots of wickedness is hidden, is it strong. When it is recognized, it dissolves. When it is revealed, it perishes. That's how it works. That's the dynamics. That is Gnosticism. Exposing evil. Getting rid of evil on all levels. Energetic, spiritually, mentally, emotionally, and the most not talked about subject, physically, getting rid of evil on the material plane also. So you're not just about some spiritual, you're not only applying spiritual principles on the energetics, on the energetic realms, but you pull it right into the so-called material realm. And you can actually see that is where, for all those people, where's your evidence? You took down the high priest of Satanism. We're going to show you the evidence. I swear on my life and on my being that I will share you the evidence that we are taking back this country. I swear that on my entire being. I will do everything to get rid of these parasites. Everything in my power. I, as a high commander, command. I do everything in my power to take down all evil, because I know what evil is. And I know its weakness and the bluff and the illusion it is. I'll do everything to show all of you that evidence. That's dedication. That's what we're really doing here. If we do not provide the evidence, mission has failed, and in actual fact, my very existence is senseless if I don't do that. This is what we're here to do. This is what we're here to do. And that's why it's amazing to share with you this journey we've been on, because it's taken us 2 months to finally have a place, a home. And it's been a very, very, very difficult, very challenging time, but a great time also. We grew a lot. I mean, I can't tell you how much of a relief it is to have a home. I appreciate just having a home. And this is because of the amazing community that we have. We couldn't have this home if it weren't for the great people who support our work with a donation by being patrons of our work. Because we don't charge anything, because we are the charge. We let source guide us, the one and only highest source guide us, and have everyone have access to this information. And learn together. No paywall. You'll never ever see a paywall on the Gnostic Takeover. We're bringing back the ancient ways. The ways of the ancient. The real Ubuntu. Not what some guy, Michael Tellinger, is saying, who I've also got questions about, okay? Might be a good guy. I might be on the wrong track. I'm just saying I got to know him personally also. And I do wonder. It's the principles of Ubuntu. To not charge your human family. And that is where trust is. Let the source guide you in full trust. And boy, have the attacks increased. That's why we're talking here about Archon-Matrix attacks. The hidden principle that ignites the alchemical fire. Ever since we got here, it's been amazing. Never had these sort of attacks before. And then you begin to wonder, like, why is this happening now? What's going on here? Oh, so they don't want us to have a home? These evil doers, they're allowed to have many homes. However, we can't have a home? How does that work? All right. So where do you start? You can see it in all of the comments underneath the videos, the last videos. You got the network right there. They're going crazy. Why? Because they do not have access to us. They're losing their grip on us because we're busting through that network. The Archon-Matrix or the Wetiko network that I want to do part 2 of episode 7 of Navigating the Matrix with Natural Law Principles. I want to do and talk about the Wetiko network. That is the field, the matrix field that governs the pedo-satanic criminal network. I want to talk about how that works with pictures and going very, very deep into that subject because it's not very much talked about how it works, the dynamics at play here, and how everyone in their personal lives is consciously or unconsciously dealing with the field of Wetiko. Comes in the form of people around you that attack you. People around you that don't want to leave you in peace. It comes in many forms. And the more we are aware of that, the more we are centered and do not react to these attacks. This is what this video is dedicated for you to not fall into the trap of the R complex, the reptilian brain, which is only reactive and feeding the demons as a food source, and instead take responsibility, which is the ability to respond and integrate that energy instead of putting it out and then losing that energy. And the attacks came to a climax. All right, I've also been getting emails that I've also shared on the last video, for example. Master psychologists who just so happen are meeting grandmaster psychologists. And yeah, as I also shared in the Telegram group, okay, on the Telegram platform of the alphabetic community, an individual who goes by the alias of Raven, who we are 99.9% sure is an individual with the name of Claire Edwards, a UN agent and my former handler. And she kicked it all off there. It's interesting to observe the dynamics and the workings of how this work, these coordinated attacks. And she kicked off the whole discussion that apparently she's very concerned about my well-being. How about asking me about my well-being? And why go public on it? Anyways, that's the first point. That's the foundation. Why everything she says is nonsense, okay? And just meant as an attack to divide, in an attempt to divide the Gnostic takeover that has a very, very strong bond. There's an incredibly strong bond between me and Errol because of what we've been through. Because me and Errol, we did separate for many months. I didn't see Errol for nearly up to half a year. I only saw him once, and I completely ignored him, didn't want anything to do with him. Because I was going through my process. And me being on my own, you can go back to the videos. I was very emotional at some stages and going through my shadow work. I talked about shadow work also in these videos where I was just completely honest. So anyone who's going through their stuff, I can recommend videos from around September, October. Check them out. Check the titles out, whatever speaks to you. Check them out. Because I know how this feels when you're moving through your shit. It's not a nice place, but you get through it. And this is what makes you strong. And this is what has created the strong bond that me and Errol have, because I needed that learning lesson. I needed to be on my own for many months. Because in order to get this job done that we're doing, I had to let go of all, and that is meaning all addictions in my life, even the hidden addictions. I got rid of alcohol, got rid of cigarettes, got rid of CBD weed itself also, any kind of smoking, the cheese, the dairy products, all of it, just slayed all of it, meat, everything, in order to do this job. Because forget about taking down this satanic network when you still have addictions, because addictions are a product of childhood trauma. It's what, for example, when you drink alcohol, which is an attempt to fill the emptiness inside, to quieten the chatter, the subconscious chatter of insecurity, and numbing it. So I went through all that, and I started doing the ice cold water for 2 months before I went to St. Corona, where me and Errol came together again and took down the high priest of Satanism through, in total, 4 ayahuasca ceremonies, and the last 2 ayahuasca datura. And the ice cold, I prepared for 2 months in ice cold water every single day. I even went 3 times a day sometimes, because I really needed it. I was so under attack before I got to St. Corona. So I went in the ice cold water 3 times a day because I needed it, because I didn't feel well and I didn't want to stay in a victim mindset, victim mentality. So I did what is the right thing to do, is do what makes you strong. And boy, does the ice cold water make you strong. Coupled together with the breathing techniques, it's amazing. Life transforming. And then I headed to St. Corona to do the job, and that bonded me and Errol together like nothing else. So coming back to the Alphavetic platform, and Raven, i.e. Claire Edwards, was talking about me being the mind control victim of Errol, and Errol being my handler. It's amazing. It's amazing. Oh yeah, so my mind control handler made me drop all of my addictions and heal childhood traumas. Wow, what a mind control. When mind control has at the heart of it trauma and traumatizing its victim. And the amazing things that I have learned from Errol in all the time that I've been with him. Amazing. As you well know, that's why there's only 24 people listening in on this right now, because with Errol, we'd be on 18, 90 people because of the synergy effect. You see, that's why the Gnostic Takeover is incomplete. When it's only me speaking, but that's also good because I have my own field of research and work that I do, and Errol also, but the two combined, oh, they really hate that. They really, really hate that. Because we learn from each other. You see, this is how it works. This is how it works within the whole community. And that's what Raven brought in there into the alphabetic. That I'm the mind control victim of Errol, and all just baseless claims with screenshots of things that I said months ago when me and Errol were separated, where the Archon-Matrix was manipulating me to perceive Errol as possibly being an MI6 agent. Because before I got to know Errol, all I had in my life were handlers, people that keep tabs on you, people that control you. I had many handlers, 6 that I can think of. And that's not just in mind control like that. This is how the Matrix works, ladies and gentlemen. Dear human family, this is at the heart of the Matrix. They place it's a chessboard. Okay, the Matrix can be symbolized as a chessboard, black and white. That's why in Freemasonry you have black and white symbolism representing base consciousness, black and white thinking. And this Wetiko network, the Archon-Matrix, knows very well how to place agents around a target that is a danger to the entire system. As is the case with me. I am the danger. I can only speak for myself. I am the danger to an entire multi-dimensional matrix control system. I know a lot, if not more than anybody on this planet, what the fundamentals of this control system really is. I claim to even be better informed about the dynamics and mechanics of the matrix control system than people that I've learned from, like Mark Passio and Bernard Gunther, for example. I claim to know more about the matrix control system than they do. And this is not a tickling competition, all right? I don't want to be better than them. I'm just saying I, with full confidence, claim that, and I want to speak to those individuals. Because this is how real humanity would work together. When you're in the middle of a genocide, that you do interviews with each other and talk with each other to upgrade and learn more about the subject that you're dealing with. So therefore, we have inquired Mark Passio to talk about Satanism with him. Because we're claiming and saying and doing that we're taking down the pedocriminal satanic network in Austria, right as I'm speaking right now. And we'd like to talk with you, Mark Passio, because according to my book, you're one of the experts on this subject. Mark Passio does not come back to me, keeps my name on the One Great Work Network, although I have commanded him to take me off because it is not the One Great Work. So instead of, during a genocide, sharing information and talking with each other, they choose to ignore, the same as Bernhard Günther. Veil of reality. I've written to Bernhard a few times, complete ignorance. So what's going on there? This is also part of the Gnostic investigation. We'll be holding them liable too. We'll send them notices to Mark Passio, Bernhard Günther, David Icke, Max Egan. Because we're saying to all of these people, guys, we've got information to share, which would make the 100th monkey effect kick in even more powerfully. And change the whole dynamics of what we're involved here in this genocide, as they're genociding our species. This is where tables turn, not some truckers laying down their trucks, all right, and blockading cities so the food supply breaks down. That people like you, Max, have warned about, and now you cheer, yeah, that's how you take back a country. No. You're full of shit, Max. And then telling people everyone should do what happens in Kazakhstan. It's a civil war in Kazakhstan. Oh, they're taking back their country. No, Max, people that have been writing to you 10 times to do an interview together to take our planet back from Satanists. They're doing the great work of taking their country back. There's no civil war. There's no breakdown of the food supply. It's a clean operation of how you take down a satanic network where we want to be questioned. We want to have our information that we share scrutinized. We want to be critically analyzed, but X, Y, Z, Max Egan, David Icke, Mark Passio, Bernhard Günther, and all the rest are ignoring the message that the Gnostic Takeover has to share, not only with information in notebooks, quantum physics, law, mathematics, languages, all a holistic science of Gnosticism, backed up by information that is scientifically proven, how quantum realities work, quantum physics, coupled together with mathematics, with linguistics, with law, natural law, principles of the natural order. All of that put together, applied, can be seen how we're taking back our country. Everyone ignores us. Therefore, part of this Gnostic investigation is to hold all of you liable, because when you've been informed multiple times and you ignore, you're a criminal. You're holding back information. And continuing on the feedback loop of the alternative media, keeping everyone stuck and in fear. When if people heard, oh my goodness, there's two guys who rescued a mother and a child from a satanic temple doing ayahuasca ceremonies in order for their trauma to heal. Victims of mind control, where they wanted to sacrifice the child of Liz, 6-year-old Leonie. The 6-year-old is not doing ayahuasca. Liz is doing ayahuasca. With Leonie, we're helping her otherwise. To heal her of that trauma. And everything we've been through. And people choose to ignore us. This is the current situation of what we're facing right now. And I'm not being a victim here, okay? The next thing that happens is that the very few people that we have connected with, because Josh Del Sol has also quit all communications with us, because we chose to stand up to our principles and say that wasn't right how things were, okay? So we expressed that. We wanted to speak to him in the private, talk privately with him. He didn't want that, so we made it public. So now then we've got a good connection with the people from Alphabetic, with Mike and Bear, and guess what happens? We, on their platform, by idiots like Raven, other idiots, part of this hive mind of demons, putting us into a light that I'm some mind control victim of Errol and the Gnostic Takeover, and I had a very bad feeling when I was watching them, and are very dark. So those who take down evil are then presented as being evil. This is how it works. And we're not having anything of it. So jumping right into the topic, you see how long it takes? 41 minutes till I can get into the essence of it. There's so much to share. So then you get slandered on Alphabetic platform and nothing. You see, Mike and Bear are amazing. We're really happy that we have connected with those people, because they're absolutely amazing what they've put together, and to have us on their show. And idiots want to destroy that, but they will not destroy it. In actual fact, it will have the effect that everyone is going to know what's really going on here. And what is going on here is how this matrix attacks the ones who are taking it down. That's the thing, how it works. So Raven comes out with a comment and just spams the whole Alphabetic community for how evil we are and how she cares so much for me, but she doesn't write to me personally. And then others jump on that bandwagon. This is how the Matrix works, the hive mind. Oh yeah, they were really dark. Doing ayahuasca and datura. I heard that black magicians work with that. No, if black magicians touch datura, they burn. I can't work with that. It's the single one thing they're most afraid of. So all of these attacks of the Archon-Matrix are there for a reason. They are here, and they come in, these attacks, in order for you, that being us at the Gnostic Takeover, up your game. It just tells you that it's the next step to take. And we're taking this next step right now. This is why I'm speaking to you here. And I made the announcement yesterday that we will not do any videos until we've done that next step. So that's why I'm speaking to you on my own today, to share that decision with you, because me and Errol will go silent for a while, because we're going in. We're going in for the kill. When you join our group on Telegram, the channel, look at that dragon. That's what we're doing. We're going in for the kill. This is true Gnosticism in action. True Gnosis kills evil, the Archons. On a higher level, that is bringing balance to the field by eliminating the artificial field of Wetiko, the matrix, the field of evil, the spirits of evil, bringing it into balance. That's what we're going to do. And we're doing that with our biggest allies, that is ayahuasca and datura. So we're going to create a brew. And we also shared another fantastic poem on our channel. Please check that out. From Billy Bob, amazing poem writer. My dad also writes beautiful poems. I want to post a few poems of my dad also very soon in the time to come. Billy Bob, put together a nice poem about the brew. Because the experience we had yesterday, I wasn't there, because if the high priest sees me, he just goes crazy. I don't know why that is. He just has to see me and he goes crazy. So then he wants to start attacking me physically, and I don't want to pull any punches for the time being now, because he's such a coward that he would call the police and say, "Oh, is that me?" They're such cowards, guys. It's unbelievable. Sickest. That's why they need to be slayed. What we experienced yesterday was just, I was at another location, but from what I've heard from Errol and Liz, it's just unbelievable the way they treated them. Sick. So they went to the high priest's place, Francis Vogel in St. Corona, to get Liz's stuff, her stuff, and to have all the energetic cords cut from that place and just take her stuff and move it here. And they wouldn't even let them into the house. She's got like many, many months of food stored there that she herself bought and produced, because she's amazing in the kitchen, Liz is. And they wouldn't even let her into the house. They put her stuff in the garage and didn't want to give her the other stuff. You see, they want to control what she gets back from her own stuff. They don't let you into the house. This is what it looks like when you're dealing with demons. That's who they are. They're the sickest. The next thing that happens is they throw her food, they throw it onto her from the window. They're like, "Here's your food." They're the biggest filth. All of creation hates them. It's a natural reaction when there's no way you can talk to these beings, these archons, these fully possessed Witikos, full-blown Witikos, demons. You can't communicate with them. You can only command them. You can only slay them. That's the only reason they're there. However, there's a bigger play going on here. This is the main point of this live stream, is the hidden principle that ignites the alchemical fire. All of these attacks and evil itself, the spirit of evil and the spirit of evil attacking you through this field that can work through many chess players. Anyone who's not dealt with their shadow, basically, and especially the ones who got the gene therapy injected into them. They'll attack you for being you. So just be you, be yourself even more, is the learning lesson to all of this. And evil only exists to empower you. That's why I say the little clown that is Franzi. You little nothing, you're nothing. Are you listening to me? Boy, you're nothing. This high priest of Satanism here in Austria. You, Franzi, you only exist to empower me. Because Wetiko, and he is a full-blown Wetiko, the Wetiko field and Wetiko itself, as the spirit of evil, has no independent existence. That's why it's a parasite. That's why it has to parasite of other beings. But when they attack you and you use those attacks as, like in the principle of Aikido, when you use those attacks to empower you, then evil must leave. And that's the learning lesson of everything we've been through in this crisis, which is a crisis of consciousness, as the late Jiddu Krishnamurti famously said. That's how we deal with evil. That's why I know Satan better than he knows himself. He only exists, the archetypal figure of Satan only exists to empower us, humanity, to take all evil down, to command them to leave this planet. I, as the High Commander of the highest source, I am the one and only power and the one and only truth. I command all evil must leave this planet now. So it is, and so it is, and so it is, hermetically sealed and protected. Has power. Evil must leave when we have extracted the revelation that it is meant to give us. Because hidden within Wetiko lies a revelation, as one learns in the book from Paul Levy. And all we have to do is extract that essence. And like in the principle of Aikido, when a force is applied onto you and you're being attacked, like we were on the alphabetic community, but for example, you take those attacks and you transform it and you flip it right back to them. You send it right back to them. So when you're under attack spiritually, I command that the origin of this attack goes back to its origin in full intensity. I know who I am, and you now suffer the consequences of this attack. And these attacks, all they're meant to be there for is for our empowerment and to go the next step. Which, after the experience we had yesterday, I was in the car, I was very angry, obviously, the way my friends have been treated. And so I got instructions from the plant medicine, which is go for the kill. That means making a brew of ayahuasca and datura and going right for the kill. Because this spirit of evil is not allowed to be on this planet anymore. Because I say so. And any one sovereign being listening to this can say so. And so it then is. Because we make the will of the one and only highest source come into this reality. The principle of the one lies in all of us. Every one of us is the character of Neo. Every one of us is the character of Morpheus and Trinity. They all represent archetypal energies. That's the truth. That's what we're here for at the Gnostic Takeover, to share all of this with you. Whenever you are being attacked by whoever, you now know how to deal with them. Through the nature of the command. That's why I am, after being a student for many, many years of David Icke's work, I am the biggest critic of David Icke. Because it's not enough to just not comply, to not acquiesce to this agenda of evil. No, David, that is not enough. That is only half truth. The absolute truth is, I command all evil must leave now because I say so. That's power. And evil persists to exist because of your message, David. Just do not consent and it's enough. No, it's not. It's not. That's what we bring into the world. The nature of the command, because it exactly exemplifies who is in charge, who is the power. And not entertain people around some rabbit hole that no one is interested in. A test that doesn't test for a virus. What a loop. I couldn't even watch the whole interview. What a loop. What an insanity. It's a topic for another time. You see, it is not acceptable that these people ignore us. That's why they might even be the biggest problem that we have in this crisis is the message control of the alternative media. Information control that lies at the heart of mind control. It's a crime. It's a crime to suppress this information of real Gnosticism. Does John Lash talk about this? John Lamb Lash? Does he want to have a conversation with us? You bet he does not, because it exposes him for a fake Gnostic. All he does, I've listened to his videos, all he does is just talk about history and the Nagidebege. And like this intellectual, I've come to understand after 50 years of research that we'll go back into the 17th century of this and that. And the pedo-satanic criminal network continues to rape the planet and its inhabitants and its children. While Mr. John Lash is telling the world about real Gnosticism, when real Gnosticism comes from knowing. And when you know, you act according to that knowing, and it becomes the biggest bother that these criminal psychopaths are still here telling me on my planet to wear a mask. On my planet! That is how you speak to them. That is true power. She is very angry, the earth. That's why I say no one has any idea what real plant medicine truly looks like. That's why the shamans in Peru, when they're asked about datura, they say, datura? No. That's what takes them down. And then they say you're aggressive. That's why it's a multi-dimensional matrix control system. Because the mindfuckery is just so deep. It is an absolute disgrace that this situation is still continuing on. And they all ignore the Gnostic takeover. All of them. And I swear on everything that I will expose them. I've learned so much from the Mark Passus and David Icke of this world, but I will expose them because the only thing I care about is the truth. How could you? How could you? How could you make this situation still go on? Do these people have no empathy? Do these people not feel the hurt that children are being tortured in our human family throughout the world? Have they no empathy? The David Icke's, the Mark Pastors, the Max Eakins. What is wrong with these people? A true human does not accept that. When I shout like I do, I'm being kind. I'm holding back. If I really were to personify and be a personification of how the Mother Earth feels like, I would be in a mental institution. It's far than enough, the amount of patience that the Earth has also shown. And I tell you, I was so happy to finally get to know Errol. Someone who really does the work and cares, really cares. And he told me he's been sitting with the plant medicine since 2014. And it's like him sitting together with Mother Earth and him observing how crazy she's going. Because no one is getting the message! This is genocide! We don't just go on interviews on the real talk shit! David! You guys are criminals! Ignoring what is taking down the problem! And I have a solution to the one and only problem, which is Satanism! And the pedo-satanic criminal network that has to leave this planet. It's the only solution that we have. And they're ignoring it. And Errol has shared that with me. In ayahuasca ceremonies, he would encounter ayahuasca. And how sad and mad and how sad she was. And he's like, it will come. We will do it. That's why I have always been alone in my life. Finally, with Errol, also someone who cares just as much and knows what needs to be done. People have no idea how deep the mind fuckery goes. And then you see the beauty around you, the children, the old people that need to be protected. How wouldn't you break that? When that beauty is not being protected. How wouldn't you break that? Can't imagine how healing that is to me right now. Because all you do is your duty as a protector of this planet And then you get slandered by the demons on alphabetic. I don't care. I really don't care. I'll be myself radically even more. My only reason for existence is to slay all of you demons, everyone. I will not forget about any single one of you. I will make sure you absolutely burn in hell and feel the pain of your victims. I'll make absolutely sure of that. That's the only reason I exist. Is to protect the children. Protect your people. You fucking bastards. And this is the Thunderbird medicine, when you know exactly what's going on, what they're doing to the old people, what they're doing to the human soul. And we don't know that because we are not experiencing this. But the nature of this evil is just unbelievable. And only the ones who really know what they're doing are the biggest danger, because we're absolutely taking them down, ripping them apart when you really know what they're doing. Yeah, full-time job, Demon Slayer. Exactly. That's exactly why we are for real and why I cry here, because you can't act. You can't act that. That's why I cry. It's the biggest healing for me. And I will keep it at that, because I'm quite honestly, I need some time for myself. It's the first time for 2 months that I've had private space now. And Leonie is already waiting for me to take her on a bike ride, because she's also not had a private space. The poor child. And I will do that with her. Although I've also not had my private space, so I just need a little bit of a break. That's all. So thank you for joining me on this. I hope did cover a lot, I'd say. Love for the self is true freedom, and when you can cry and love yourself for that, that's truly liberating. That's what we as humanity are here for. I will not let anyone mislead humanity any longer. That's why I'm coming for the David Icks, for the Mark Passios, for the Max Egans, all of them. I'm coming for you. It is unacceptable. It is unacceptable. Because the only thing I serve is the truth. And when you're bending the truth, you've got a problem with me. And they're all. And the rest of the people that stand for the truth and nothing but the truth and will not be deceived any longer. So till next time, take very good care. I love all of you in the community who continue to support us. That's true. That's a true bond, and no one can break that bond. No one. So till next time, I love all of you. Take very good care. Bye-bye.